WWE Elimination Chamber is this Sunday, March 8th, 2020 in Philadelphia at the Wells Fargo Center. What better time to get you guys prepared for it than looking at the entire card as it stands right now, although card is subject to change. Offer you guys preview and match predictions on a special Call That Match edition of the RCWR show. Lee Sanders here. Yes, don't I sound a lot better? Thank you to those of you that had sent me private messages, checking in with me, seeing how I was doing, or just being out in the open and wishing me a speedy recovery. In case some of you guys had missed it, I came down with a serious bout of the flu. I'm almost out of the woods, as you can hear with my voice. If you had checked out the Wednesday edition that we did drop, we did quietly, on demand and on the downloads, release a show Wednesday night going into Thursday morning. And I was at least at about, I put myself at 60%. Some of you listening to that, bless your hearts if you were able to get through all of that. You probably felt I was actually below that. I wouldn't be surprised if you guys had put me at about maybe 50% or less than that. But I'm almost completely out of the woods, but I do appreciate you guys that were wishing me a speedy recovery. So I will definitely be ready to go this Sunday, offering the WWE Elimination Chamber post show for you guys. But enough about me. Let's talk more about this card here. All right. So as it stands right now that we're recording this, it is in the early wee morning hours of Saturday, March the 7th, 2020. This is your card, and I did watch SmackDown. One match that jumps out at me that makes me say, WTF, I'm scratching my head here. Maybe you guys can connect the dots for me a little bit. Get everybody else talking, but Daniel Bryan is going to be taking on Drew Gulak. Now, I believe these two will have a pretty great matchup, but just based on what I had saw from SmackDown tonight, maybe I missed something. And if I missed something, I humbly apologize. As most of you longtime listeners know, I have been on a little bit of a hiatus from SmackDown these past couple of weeks. Watching this SmackDown and the SmackDown before where Goldberg had appeared, pretty much those were the first two SmackDowns I'd watch in almost a month and a half. So you got to forgive me if I'm a little bit confused, if I'm a little bit lost on what's going on with Daniel Bryan right now. But for me, this just feels so spontaneous. It feels so random. And I didn't see any type of a story arc playing out on this week's SmackDown to let me know why this match is happening. So I'm running in the dark here, but I'm going to go on ahead. I'm going to jump out there and I am going to say Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan should be able to pick up the W for this one. Now, I think what's going to be the most interesting chapter is what is going to be next for Daniel Bryan. What exactly is Daniel Bryan's role going to be at WrestleMania? To get the ball rolling on the discussion as far as what you all would like to see happen with Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania, I want you guys to comment. Who would you like to see Daniel Bryan face at WrestleMania? Follow up with me, and then what will go down is with the elimination post show, once it's all in the books, I'll definitely offer what other matches I think it's going to be happening at WrestleMania. But Daniel Bryan, Drew Gulak, look, it should be a fantastic technical matchup. I'm not taking anything away from both of these guys, especially Drew Gulak. I was a little bit on the, as you all know, when he first came on board in the WWE, except for his participation in the Cruiserweight Classics or Cruiserweight Championship tournament. I enjoyed him in that one. And then when it spun off into its own show, I thought he was okay, a little bit too cartoony for me, but then he started growing the beard out, started having a more serious demeanor to him and everything. I really started gravitating to him more, and I've been a fan of his work ever since. This is going to be a really great matchup. I wouldn't be surprised if it was maybe one of the sleeper hits of the entire card. Andrade is taking on Humberto Carrillo. It's a rematch if you will, as these two have been feuding with each other for just a couple of months now, but it's going to be a one-on-one matchup for the United States Championship. Given what we had saw on Monday Night Raw, remember, we saw a tag match where Humberto Carrillo teamed up with Rey Mysterio. Meanwhile, Andrade had teamed up with Angel Garza. So you can't help but wonder how much of a factor is Angel Garza and Rey Mysterio gonna possibly play into this matchup. I'm going to say they will play some type of a role in this matchup. Whether or not as a result of their participation, this would maybe spark another tag match against the two, that kind of remains to be seen. Do you need to put them out there? Not really. I think at this point, go ahead, preserve them, save them more so for WrestleMania, because I'm still loving the idea of Andrade taking on Rey Mysterio, hair versus mask. Remember, there was an interview a couple of months ago that Rey Mysterio had gave where he said he would love to entertain that match. He would love to do something like that as he's making his way out of the WWE. So is that something that's maybe going to be happening this year? With the way everything has aligned so far, really wouldn't be a bad idea to go in that respected direction. We've seen Rey Mysterio's mask come off quite a few times within recent months. So I personally don't think that Rey Mysterio and Angel Garza is needed for this. I think these two men can just carry the workload on their own. And, you know, for me personally, I know they took each other on out in Saudi Arabia, but the crowd, they honestly could give two care nots about both men. Over here back in the States, in front of that Philly crowd is definitely going to appreciate and love tremendously the work that Andrade and Humberto is able to do. But as far as the United States Championship goes, I'm going to say it's going to stay right around the waist of Andrade. I need to see Andrade pick things right back up with Rey Mysterio. I want to see that hair versus mask match at Mania between those two guys. Humberto Carrillo, in the meantime, I feel he is going to continue on his feud with Angel Garza. I wouldn't be surprised if at this point, Angel Garza, Carrillo, if maybe they were to do something that's going to be part of WrestleMania pre-show, if you will. Or it could make the actual card. We'll wait and see. But definitely I see those two, all four men. I see them doing something with each other at WrestleMania in those respected singles matches. Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins, and Montez Ford are going to be taking on Seth Rollins and Murphy. Tag team match for the Raw Tag Team titles. This is an interesting dynamic right here because the titles could go right back to Seth Rollins and Murphy. It really could, but Philly crowd, white hot, Rollins, Murphy, crowd's been a bit indifferent with these guys. For me, this whole Baptist Messiah, Seth Rollins, it's been nothing but the drizzles for me personally. And I find it kind of interesting that now we're at this point where Seth Rollins, he's not even in the main event. Seth Rollins is kind of low card. He's low card status right now. I'm not really sure if things are ever going to circle back to Seth Rollins being the man again. Not at this time. I'm really not that convinced. I'm not. It kind of feels as though the ship has essentially sailed, and you got me, guys. You got me. But just seems like we're doing the time warp again, only this time it's not with J&J Security. It's not with the Shield. It's but Street Profits, they've got it right now. They've got everything going in their favor. They've got the crowd in their back pocket. They got their nice, catchy little catchphrase. Pretty energetic, very charismatic. Love what they're doing in the ring. Should be a really good tag team matchup. I'm looking forward to Street Profits. Now, that doesn't mean that their angle with Seth Rollins and Murphy is over. As far as the Monday Night Messiah coalition goes, I don't think the Street Profits are done with those guys just yet. What is going on exactly with AOP? You would like to believe that as far as a big WrestleMania breakout moment, maybe Street Profits take on AOP and AOP becomes the tag team champions. Because if you really stop and think about it, when Seth Rollins and Murphy had initially got the tag titles, all of us, even us fellow podcasters out there in the podcasting world, were going, well, wait a minute, wouldn't it make more sense to put the tag titles on AOP? Why are we putting it on Rollins and Murphy? That doesn't quite make any sense right there. So I would not be surprised if at this point, bookers in WWE are looking to make things right, balance everything out by having AOP at Mania get their crowning moment, let them be the tag champions, Street Profits chase after them for a little bit. But when AOP does get those tag titles, they're going to be dominating for a hot minute. I can definitely tell you that right now. But I'm looking at Street Profits for the retain of the Raw tag titles. Next up, we got The Miz and John Morrison taking on New Day, taking on Usos, taking on Heavy Machinery, taking on Lucha House Party, taking on Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. It's a elimination tag team match for the SmackDown tag titles. I see no reason why Miz and Morrison would lose these titles. I really don't. You just got to continue to ride what's pretty popular right now, it seems. I'm really not that convinced that there is going to be a major title change whatsoever. Just looking at the rest of the card here, I'm not that convinced. I really am not. It seemed as though with everything that went down in Saudi Arabia, if you were going to be doing some switches, that was the place to do it. But for me, it really feels as though all the champions for this one should be safe. Yeah, I'm just not convinced. And I tell you what, Heavy Machinery is essentially gonna counter each other in a way, because I'm looking at Otis and Tucker. Otis is definitely gonna be a bit distracted by Dolph Ziggler. If you're booking this match just right, you gotta have Otis want to try to put the hurting on Dolph Ziggler, somewhat in retaliation of, you got my girl, she used to be my girl. You kind of gotta go in that little direction a little bit. So Otis and Tucker, Ziggler, Roode, I got them kind of countering each other right there, so to speak. I'm not quite seeing Usos. I'm not seeing New Day. Miz and Morrison seems to be the way things are going to be going for that one. Should be a pretty good tag team elimination matchup, though. I'm actually looking forward to that one. 3-on-1 handicap match as Braun Strowman defends his Intercontinental Championship against Shinsuke Nakamura, Cesaro, and Sami Zayn. Wow, that's gonna be insane. That should be a good one right there. Oh, good God Almighty, that should be a good one. I like Strowman. I like Strowman all the way. I like Strowman all the way. Would be interesting to see Sami Zayn get that title. If you want to really switch things up and you want to have a babyface chase after. Actually, you know what? No, now that I'm really kind of thinking about it here, I kind of like the idea of a heel Sami Zayn somehow getting his hands on that Intercontinental title. And I can just see him coming out every single week, bragging like a mofo. Braun Strowman, a pissed off Braun Strowman, coming out there trying to get retribution. Braun Strowman being the babyface that he is right now, chasing after Sami Zayn for the IC title, and then everything culminates at WrestleMania with him finally getting his hands on Sami Zayn for the IC title, and essentially Braun Strowman gets the IC title right back. It's got a nice little ring to it, quite honestly. Yeah, I'm gonna jump out there And I'm going to go with Sami Zayn as the chicken shit Intercontinental Champion. I can see Cesaro, Nakamura. I could see them doing a lot of stuff. I'm telling you what I personally would like. And if WWE really wants to try to switch it up a little bit, rather than have all the titles be retained, this is where you switch it up. If you're going to do a switch up, let there be some travesty go down. Let it happen in that particular matchup. That's the way to go. Because the way things are kind of looking right now, Braun Strowman seems to be a little bit stale. He really does. So, you know, what's next for Braun? You know, what are you going to do with him? Unless you're going to have Shaquille O'Neal come out and face him at WrestleMania or Big Show, unless you're going in some type of a direction like that, you've got 4 weeks to go until Mania. Yeah, go in that direction. Let Braun chase after the chicken shit champion and Sami Zayn. Makes a lot of sense. All right, and what should without a doubt be our main event match of the night, we have the Elimination Chamber match for a Raw Women's Championship match at WrestleMania 36, as your participants for that one is going to be Natalya, Liv Morgan, Shayna Baszler, Asuka, Ruby Riott, Sarah Logan. Hands down, Shayna Baszler all the way, following up on the great run that she had in NXT. I mean, this is a foregone conclusion. She's going to be dominating in some serious freaking style. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Everything the way it's looking with WrestleMania. Why would you pick against Shayna Baszler? Why would you? Just looking at everybody else in this, we can eliminate Sarah Logan. We can eliminate Ruby Riott, because when it's all said and done, Sarah Logan and Ruby Riott, these girls are still feuding with each other, so we could pretty much forget about that. Shayna Baszler, Asuka, that will happen, but at a later date. So meantime, well, what about the idea of Asuka taking on Becky Lynch? We've already seen that twice. Well, 3 times. If you want to get technical, a couple more than that. So no, that's not happening. Liv Morgan, Natalya, love Natalya, but not seeing it. So Shayna is the way to go. Unless the only way, if I was booking this and I really wanted to cause some serious controversy and I really wanted to shake things up and not let it be such a foregone conclusion, if it were me, one of the things that I would personally do when all the participants are getting ready to come out there and everything, they're getting ready to enter the pods, you cue up the music of Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler is laid the hell out. You see her on the Titantron. She is laid out. She is, holding her arm and she's freaking screaming. Or you could have it be a situation where she is just unconscious. She's laying on the floor unconscious. And then at that point, it's, damn, what the hell is going on here? You know, who did this to her? You know, what the hell? So you do some type of scenario like that, and then it's like, oh, so what's going to happen? You know, obviously with Shayna, you know, what's going to happen? So then at that point, you could just have it be Sarah Logan, Ruby, Asuka, Liv Morgan, Natalya. You could just have it go down just like that. Then, just when we think, okay, so, and as far as who may come the closest to winning it, you could kind of, let's see. You could almost give the nod there to Asuka. But then all of a sudden, you cue up the music of the beautiful and the lovely, if she's ready. I'm booking this and she's ready, she's healthy. Nia Jax. Nia Jax almost kind of has a freaking Kane moment where she freaking rips the cage door, gets in there like a mega freaking beast, destroys the hell out of Asuka, takes out the rest of the girls, pretty much pins whoever. And then you got controversy going into Monday Night Raw as far as trying to establish, wait a minute, you know, did the board of directors sign off on Nia Jax? Did upper WWE management, did they sign off on Nia Jax allowing her to enter that matchup? What the hell? And then at that point, what you could do is have a scenario come about where Shayna Baszler is trying to somehow extract revenge on what Nia Jax did. So now basically going into Monday Night Raw, okay, well, with what Nia Jax did, does that hold up? Does that in fact hold up her win, or because of everybody that has signed the contract, what Nia Jax did, it's invalid? So you can go into Monday Night Raw trying to address all of those controversies. It's a nice little setup, but ultimately, and see, I like a little bit of revisionist history because as we all know, Nia Jax, Becky Lynch, I'm sure you guys get it. So that'd be kind of nice to follow up on. And then of course you can have Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax mingling there. Maybe they have some type of a number one contenders match. Ultimately, Shayna puts Nia Jax in her freaking place, then goes on officially to be crowned the number one contender to take on Becky Lynch. You could essentially do it like that. Kind of got to tweak that just a little bit more, but I kind of like that idea. I'm not really sure if WWE is thinking like that, but that's how I would set it up personally. If they are not going in that direction though, then hands down, Shayna Baszler should get this. But I would definitely, if it was me, I would definitely do some controversy like that and actually let Nia Jax be a freaking surprise at Elimination Chamber, because that's essentially what you need right now. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be looking at this pay-per-view and are going to be passing on it because they're going to be going, what the hell? I don't need to check this out because we're 4 weeks away from WrestleMania. Ain't really nothing going to be happening. Even more the reason why you should make something happen. All right, once again, going from the bottom to the top, I'm seeing Daniel Bryan over Drew Gulak. Andrade retains the United States title over Humberto Carrillo. Oh, we missed a match. Alistair Black takes on AJ Styles. No disqualification match. Can't believe I almost forgot about that one. I am going to say, ooh, that's going to be a tricky one. That is going to be a tricky one because do you have AJ Styles get in there and get another W over Alistair Black with a little bit of help from the Good Brothers, and then Alistair Black essentially feuds against the Good Brothers, and maybe it culminates in him having a handicap match with those guys while AJ Styles is occupied? Do you maybe do something like that? Does The Undertaker make some type of an appearance? Do you have AJ Styles? Because see, AJ Styles still has to get his comeuppings. He still has to get his payback for what Undertaker did in Saudi Arabia. So how is AJ going to essentially get that back? Do you have Undertaker, Philly crowd, Undertaker? It kind of makes a little bit of sense to have Undertaker make some type of an appearance there just to rattle the brain a little bit of AJ Styles. For me personally, just when it's looking as though AJ Styles is about to get this, that's when you hear the gong, the lights go out, it's freaking pitch black, lights come back on, AJ's looking for wherever the hell Undertaker is. Alistair Black comes in with the blackout, 1, 2, 3, that's pretty much it. And it's a no disqualification. So, you know what? I'm going to jump out there. I'm going to say, since it's a no disqualification match, I'm going to say Good Brothers are going to interfere in this. They're going to be interfering in this. And then just when it looks as though it's all said and done, I've got Undertaker making his presence felt and essentially helping Alistair Black pick up the W a little bit. But see, do you even give the W to Alistair Black here? Do you give the W to Alistair Black or do you give it to AJ? That's where it gets a little bit tricky here because you want to build some type of momentum, and that's where it kind of gets a little bit sticky here. That's where it gets a little bit sticky. I could see a scenario play about where it goes down with Gallows, Anderson beating the crap out of Alistair Black, AJ Styles putting a stomping on him as well. Lights go out. You got freaking Undertaker. Hopefully WWE doesn't do any stupid crap and all of a sudden Alistair Black freaking disappears. But it would be nice to see Alistair Black and The Undertaker just 2-on-3. They just go on those guys. Then you have to answer the question, what happens with AJ? Do you have AJ maybe retreat like a punk little... Yeah, I think you got to preserve him because you got 4 weeks to go until Mania. Do you really want to follow up on what you did over 9 days ago in Saudi Arabia? Do you really want to have AJ Styles be at the other receiving end of a... I don't think so. I don't think he should be eating a pin or a submission. You got to maneuver him out of there. So, but when it's all said and done, Alistair Black will win, but I can see him essentially winning by forfeit because for AJ, it's just too much when it's all said and done. He kind of retreats with his good brothers and all that. All right, so Daniel Bryan over Drew Gulak. Andrade retains the United States title over Carrillo. Alistair Black via DQ, some type of a weird fuck finish. Street Profits retain the Raw tag titles. Miz and Morrison retain their SmackDown tag titles. Sami Zayn gets the IC title. And Shayna Baszler retains the Raw Women's title. But make a note of what I had said initially, how if I were setting this up, how I would have it play out. That would be one hell of a shocker. Most people would not see that coming. That's going to do it for your Elimination Chamber. All right, so heads up. I will be live with you guys this Sunday, March the 8th, as soon as Elimination Chamber goes off the air. We'll be live on YouTube, so make sure you check that out. We'll cover full Fallout. I'll give you guys my thoughts, review the pay-per-view as well. That's going to be awesome. Be kind, rewind, check out previous episodes of the RCWR show. You may have missed on demand and on the downloads. Get at me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Use the keywords, the RCWR show. And until I see you for the Elimination Chamber post-show, wishing all of y'all to be safe and be kind to one another. I'll see you next go round. Everybody take care.